Welcome back, crypto enthusiasts, to the No Edge, No Trade channel where we talk crypto trading. Today, we're going to talk about Super. I'm going to take you through how I traded Super with our team, with our group, and how we're still making money on something that is showing high relative strength. So stay tuned. You're going to see how Super came to be on my radar. Second of all, how I was preparing to execute upon Super, how I executed, and what are the next steps. And by viewing until the end, you will learn how to start viewing opportunities to trade cryptos just like I do. So without further ado, we're talking about Super. And as you can see, this is a trade, and not a trade, this is the chart actually. And just to make sure that you understand that I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. This is my Patreon channel, right? If this interests you, you can click on the link in the description or in the comment and come join, watch this if you want to. If you don't, just like and subscribe right now to my channel. Anyways, if you go below, you can see recent posts. You click Super. As you can see, this is a post from November 30th, right? So roughly 12 days ago. Super long candidate, blah blah blah. I have more viewer here. I need to update this a little bit. Anyways, this is the chart itself. As you can see, from the 30th of November, this was the chart: entry, stop loss, add-on, and so on and so forth. Got it? No BS in this channel. Moving back to the chart. Okay, so again, this is it. Didn't change anything. Now, what I wanted to discuss is why did this came to be in my focus, in the watch list and the focus list in the first place. I will tell you why. If we go back above over here, we can see first of all Super had a very strong move. This is the last cycle, but after a long period of dormancy, right, very long period of dormancy, Super smashed it, right, a 500% move, and then from this breakout over here, create another 100% opportunity over here, okay? So I knew Super has strength to it. Then it went from this stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 downtrend. And then what I started to see it is while Bitcoin was still, having issues and basing and so on, I noticed this inverse head and shoulder. Now, this is a big significant inverse head and shoulders, and not something you just see every now and then. Some people can say, hey, this is an inverse head and shoulders, blah, blah. No, not everything that you see that looks like head and shoulders is a head and shoulders, right? So this was significant head and shoulders, and as you can see, not only it went high over here, it created kind of a bull flag, right, in the right core, in the right side of the head and shoulder, right, created the bull flag, and this was actually paired with a horizontal resistance. This was kind of support turned resistance turned support over here. So all this combined, I looked to actually enter a trade over here, but I didn't, right? I did not enter this trade, but it was on my radar over here. I missed it. So then when it moved all this, I was interested to find the next continuation. How did I find the next continuation? As you see now, what I did was to just continue watching it, and I saw it basing over here, created another horizontal resistance here. Now before we broke out, and let me just make sure that we go all the way here. Before we broke out here, this looked like a horizontal resistance that might continue, right? This was a trade I actually took that I actually lost money on because it broke above before we had these lines, right? These did not exist. Let me remove this, remove this. Remove this. You can see that it broke out. This was the trade that we were on. We had a stop loss here on the low of the breakout day. Stop losses are in red, and it failed, right? But doesn't matter, right? I keep watching it. I kept watching. Now this is no longer relevant, so I remove this. No longer relevant, remove this. I keep going with the candles, and as you can see, it continues creating the base, and I noticed that it's continuing to respect this horizontal resistance-ish that we had here, right? This was kind of horizontal resistance. And as you can see, it keeps kind of respecting it. So for me, the breakout of it here was a signal of an entry, and that's why we entered at this day, all right, which was the 30th of November. As I said, the 30th of November was the post, and I wanted to, so I'm going to move this from red to blue. Then we had a stop below the low of the day here. and we kept on letting it move. It didn't stop me out and moved and touched the second entry or above this last local high, which was the add-on. Now, why do I use add-on? Simple, because I want to have a bigger position. If I start, let's say here of something, let's say at around 7.5 to 12.5% of my, account size, let's say you trade $100,000. So you start with 7.5 or 12, between 7.5 and 12.5, right? That's the percentage, right? Respectfully. And then you can double or add 50% at the breakout. So you basically can reach to a 25% position size on your full account, and you can move the stop already to break even. So even if this goes south, you lose only on the add-on trade and you don't lose on both trades. And as you can see, since then, this actually continued to move. It had some hiccups, all right, and then just continued. And now we had yesterday, all right, didn't stop us out. And right now we're still above these good areas. Yesterday was concerning, by the way, very concerning because just of the market, but now it's looking okay. And if you want to, if you're aggressive, you can move the stop below this, because if it goes below this, the trade is gone, and that's it. You don't have to do that. But that's what we have done so far. And by the way, of course, that we took profits into strength, right? You can see that from the first entry we had a 55% gain, and from the second entry a 40%. I take usually at some at 1 hour, right? Some at 2 hour, a bit bigger, 3 hour, and so on. So I take profits into strength to make sure that I always maintain my profit curve going up. And if something happens and it goes down, goes south, whatever, if I get stopped out, at least I get stopped out with minimal profit or at break even and don't lose on a trade that stops me out. Okay, so this is so far how I recognized, Super as a trade. Told you inverse head and shoulders, relative strength to the market, bull flag, continuation. Then how I prepared to execute, meaning I was watching this base, even got stopped out once, then continue watching it, continue to watch on the same trade. If a trade stops you out, don't just push it away, right? I continue reviewing it and watching it, and then I started respecting the horizontal resistance, saw this breakout, executed upon the trade in 2 halves, right? Half here, and of course, taking profits into strength. That's how I do it. This is my strategy, finding continuation bases, right? Where after you have an up move, then it goes sideways action, that's a base, then it continues, that's my edge, that's continuation basis. And of course, the tactics I use to enter, in two different entries to minimize risk and to increase profitability along the way, and of course, the taking profits into strength, that's another tactic I use, and so on and so forth. So this is still a good trade to hold. Now, what do you need to do if you want to get into Super or into any other trade that you want to get into? Doesn't matter if it's Super or whatever. Easy. You need to look for continuation trades, right? This is one way to find a base that goes sideways, find horizontal resistance, find contraction volatility, because this contracted in volatility. In the beginning, right, this was the contraction 1 and 2, not the best, but kind of a cup and handle contraction. It failed, right? So I need to continue. This was the first contraction, second contraction, third contraction, and then breakout. So all these things that I watch, and if you are a viewer of mine, you already know I'm looking for continuation, VCPs, and so on. And by the way, if you're new, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and make sure to push that bell notification, because you don't want to miss videos that I push on real time, on real live trades. So do that right now. It's free of charge. You don't need to pay for it. So do it for me, do it for the algorithm, and just let's push this channel forward, right? So this is the edge, and then the tactics. That's what you need to look for. So if, let's say, we stay here, you want to look for something like this, contraction, and boom, continuation, and you want to catch the breakout. I'm a breakout trader of these types of consolidations. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. You don't need to make it too complicated. As simple as possible. I do this again and again and again, and this is the tail on Super. All right, this is the tail on Super. And hey, don't forget how it looks like. This is how it looks like. Move up, sideways action, VCPs, breakout, and more and more. And always use a stop loss, and always use take profits. Ladies and gents, If you want a free way to support my channel, like, subscribe, smash that bell notification. If you want to join us, by all means, this was the trade. I have more trades, by the way, that I do all the time, but they don't matter right now. Click on the link in the description. Join if you want to. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. I'm here for you to making videos as much as possible, free content. Let's go. Until next time, no edge, no trade. Cheers, everybody.